What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. More C4. Thank you for checking out today's video where we're going to be doing our second 2023 Philadelphia Eagles full round mock draft. All 7 rounds for the Eagles. We had pick 5, 31, 63, 95, 167, and 249. And we are going to try and make this an S-tier type draft. We're gonna no trades, even though I think Philly, what happens at pick 5, either they be a little aggressive and move up a spot or two, or likely trade back for a team that's desperate for a quarterback, which that's how he's most likely going to do. But we aren't going to do any trades or anything like that. We are just going to try and build an absolute super team for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we got to say, first and foremost, this Saints pick at pick 5, I think we all can admit, hopefully the Saints continue to suck, and we can at least, because like Seattle, Chicago, and Detroit, I don't think now, especially with the emergence of Geno Smith and Jared Goff, they're not drafting a quarterback. So they are going to be getting, as it stands, one of the players Philly wants. Philly right now, if you look at this board, Jalen Carter and Will Anderson, those are the top 2 guys that Philly would want at 5. And I just can't see any way. Maybe it'll happen in this mock draft sim. Seattle, Chicago, and Detroit. Will Anderson and Jalen Carter survive that. We need to be able to jump at least one of those teams. So, that being said, we also did a full 31, because the Dolphins obviously had their pick forfeited. Team mock draft on the main channel. Go check that out if you are not. You stumble upon this just because you support me. You're not an Eagle fan. I did a full team mock draft on the main channel, but it is now time for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's dominate. Hopefully, following a Super Bowl, we come with a top 5 pick, hopefully better than 5, and we can keep this damn thing going. So let's start it. Holy shit. Okay. It's a mock draft game. It's not supposed to be taken super serious, but all the quarterbacks are still on the board, which there's 0% chance that happens. Bryce Young's going to be gone. But if this is the board, and spoilers, if you saw the other mock draft, I had Myles Murphy going to the Eagles. I feel like that's kind of what you do. You look at Myles Murphy, he is project, not so much the sense that he's like a pure project, like someone like Odafe Owe and guys that that got a really long way to go. Myles Murphy, 5-star recruit, 6'5", 6'6", 275, prototypical franchise edge rusher. Just didn't have the production that you're kind of looking for to scream top 5 pick. That's the only reason why. Athletically speaking, ceiling-wise, he's a top 5 pick. Production, which is kind of, you want to see that complete package, right? You look at just last year's draft. Aiden Hutchinson had athleticism and production. Travon Walker had better athleticism, but none of that proven production. And, Walker didn't look too bad. I think if you could do a redraft, I don't think the Jags would have overthunk it, and they would have won Aiden Hutchinson. I feel like that might be the same kind of deal. Like, there's no other edge rusher you would take over Myles Murphy at that spot, especially with Will Anderson being off the board. But I think it's the same kind of fear that where someone like Myles Murphy is going to come here, he's going to be part of the rotation. You'd love to see Brandon Graham come back on like a team-friendly deal, short-term deal. Obviously, Josh Sweat's established. So Myles Murphy's not going to have to be a guy that's to come in and play right away. And obviously, you got Hassan Riddick in that little bit of a hybrid pass rusher role. But it's annoying to talk about this because it's the one thing that I have hated above all the hits and misses for Howie Roseman. I've hated the fact that he just doesn't care, regardless if it's pick 5 or pick 31, which we're going to make in a second. It just feels like he does not care whatsoever about his rookies producing year 1, which is fine, right? Like, hopefully your team's in a good enough spot that your rookies don't have to produce in year 1. But me, selfishly as a fan, I want my rookies to get on the field. I want that exciting rookie that's like, I got to go get that guy's jersey. That guy's crushing it. And I don't know if you're going to get that with Myles Murphy. So Philly's back up at 31. Looking at the board here. It's actually an easy pick. I think we're going to go Brian Branch. I think with Brian Branch, he's a versatile defensive back who corner and safety, it's almost like Philly is going to keep one of, not both, James Bradberry or Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I feel like James Bradberry, given his age, and I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, given his motivation to leave the Saints to come to Philly on a 1-year deal to secure the bag, leading the league in interceptions right now with 6 picks, I think it's going to be more reasonable to expect Philly to re-sign James Bradberry on a short-term deal than it is to get a long-term contract extension for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This mock draft is tough to predict because who knows how this all kind of plays out for Philadelphia as it relates to the free agents. We have a lot of impending free agents in the secondary. I think Epps is also a free agent. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, free agent. Reed Blankenship looked pretty solid, but did Reed Blankenship look solid enough that you can plug him in as a starter if both those guys walk? I don't know. We need help on the defensive line, but there wasn't really a D-line pick at 31, given, Fletcher Cox set to be a free agent. Javon Hargrave set to be a free agent. We need to find someone else that can play alongside Jordan Davis, primarily with maybe a pass rushing skill set, right? So as it stands right now, you just kind of, corner, if they let James Bradbury walk, you're going to need an outside corner when we were there. It's just tough. It's tough. It's always going to be tough to mock the Philadelphia Eagles until we get some more clarity about our free agency. So, you kind of go BPA. Brian Branch to me at Alabama, if I had to give like a comp, a player that he reminds me of, it'd be Minkah Fitzpatrick. And if that's kind of the vibes that you're putting off, Minkah Fitzpatrick was a guy that can play corner, can play safety, but is most likely going to be a safety, which also, that's Chauncey Gunnar-Johnson. Chauncey Gunnar-Johnson started as a corner for the Florida Gators and then moved to safety. So someone like Brian Branch fits within that skill set. And Malcolm Jenkins, corner to safety. So I just feel like that's a safe pick at this spot. So now we're up here at 63. A lot of areas you could go. I think you could look at tackle. I think this could be a year they look at tackle because, Andre Dillard's likely going to go to free agency. You don't have, Lane Johnson's already starting to have some sound bites about how many years he has left. Darnell Wright, the Canadian. I would love another swing at a Canadian lineman after Danny Watkins didn't pan out. Matthew Bergeron from Syracuse. I just don't know if there's value right now at tackle. I think D lineman is a need for Philadelphia. Now, I don't want to misquote this. Is this the guy that getting shit with the fight? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I think Tuipulotu. We have his brother, Marlon. Yeah, I don't know if they're brothers, cousins. His production's actually ridiculous, but I don't know if he could. Is he going to be a 4-3 D tackle? Right now, he's a 3-4 defensive end. Maybe kinda. You could look at something like that, but it's gonna be tough. Much like we're just kind of talking about, it's gonna be so difficult to mock what Philly's gonna have to do until we see free agency, right? So we go the remaining corners. Garrett Wilson's coming off an injury. Jalen Jones might be a first rounder, right? Height, weight, speed on the outside. But in this scenario, we just said they let Chauncey walk and they keep James Bradbury. That's why you go safety there. But still 63. You get options. Linebacker could be another one. Jack Cable from Iowa is pretty damn good. You still have more edge. You can never have enough edge rusher. But for me, what I will do, I'll say this. As it stands, if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, damn, man. We'll get Tuipulotu. Pass rusher. Tackle for. I just feel like right now what I'm looking for, do I go corner? Maybe we should have just done this mock draft under the assumption we lose everybody. Philly doesn't re-sign anybody, and just how I'd rebuild the team. But Tuipulotu is a pass rusher, 295 pounds, so he's probably more suited to be a 3-4 defensive end. But isn't that what Javon Hargrave would kind of flex out to that a little bit when he was with that front three on Pittsburgh? Now he's an inside D tackle, and I just feel like Tuipulotu get a pass rusher on the interior that can complement Jordan Davis. And if that's kind of the profile you're looking for, Tuipulotu is your guy. And he's giving me an A, man. 3 straight A's. Now we're up at 95 for Philadelphia. Pick 3, pick 95. We are still in need. A couple different things. Man, Darnell Wright's still there at tackle. What do we got at running back? Tank Bigsby, Sean Tucker, Canadian, Chase Brown. I would love that one. Tank Bigsby's sick. I just think Philly's, it's going to be in the 100s that we start looking at a running back. That's kind of my game plan here. So we've got edge, we've got D-line, we've got safety. Looking at the corners, you got, slot guys that are still available. I don't know how much I love those at this given time. If we're talking BPA, you could get your swing tackle. You could look at linebacker, Jack Campbell. Again, TJ Edwards set to be a free agent. Kaiser White set to be a free agent. Even if you expect, I think it's reasonable to expect we'll bring back one of those guys and kind of expand Nakobe Dean's role on the defense. That's probably going to be the most cost-effective solution for Philadelphia. Man, this is tough, man. This is a tough mock draft for the Eagles. Because, again, it's just I have no idea what this team's going to look like after free agency. Once we kind of start to see those cards drop, I think it'll be a little bit more clear. Because I think tackle could be a safe get for Philadelphia. Get that swing tackle between Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson. Those are your 2 starters. Jack Driscoll, serviceable. But, like, do you just continue to build through the trenches and get a guy with a high ceiling? Darnell Wright, 5-star recruit. Kind of putting it all together there. Do you go corner? Try to add more depth. Someone like DJ Turner, a little bit more length, can play on the outside. Hobbs, we don't need a slot. We got Avonte Maddox. Do you go linebacker? Do you go... Man, you know what? We'll play it safe. I think the best value right now would be one of these pass rushers, but we don't need another pass rusher. So we'll grab Darnell Wright to kind of come in. He's the best player available remaining. And the idea is, we're losing, I don't think we're going to re-sign him. There's no way Andre Dillard re-signs, right? He's one of those guys, it's going to be tough because he hasn't played a lot. So is the market going to be massive for him, or does he want to come back to Jeff Stoutland University? So assuming that Dillard's gone, I think there's value in having another high-ceiling type tackle in the pipeline that can grow and develop. And I just feel like with Lane Johnson already kind of talking about, maybe I got a year or two more left. Like, the earlier you get a guy with a high ceiling under Jeff Stoutland, the better they're going to be when it comes time for the number to be called. So, like, maybe that's why you're starting to think tackle there at 95 could make sense for Philly, even though he's not going to stint the field. Kind of like Cam Jurgens in a way type selection, just kind of future-proofing the position. 167. Now it's time, I think, to look at the running backs. What do we got? Oh, Jesus. I'm not gonna lie, if this is what we're kind of looking at, I would hope that Philly kind of considers re-signing Miles Sanders. I think Deuce Vaughn is electrifying. I think he gives you a little bit of Darren Sproles, but that's Kenny Gainwell, right? We have Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell's been solid when called upon. Do you want to bring in someone immediately that would infringe on what he brings to the offense? I honestly don't think there's a running back right now that I'd be running to draft if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles. I think when you look at the Eagles right now, to keep going, this is our board. I think you probably still you look at corner, because I still think even if you bring back James Bradbury, they're up there in age. We don't have you got Zach McPherson right now. Is he a guy that you could project as a successor to one of those guys? I don't know. Is any of the players available right now guys that you can project as a successor? I don't know. You have the great white hope at corner and Riley Moss, very productive. Or you would look somewhere like Noah Daniels, who's a very, very good athlete at corner. You grab the guy that has the athletic upside. That's a little fun. We'll get the great white hope at corner. Riley Moss, very good production. See what he can do. Good length. I don't know, athletically speaking. I don't know if he's going to be a 4.3, 4.4 guy. Probably 4.5, high 4.5, somewhere in that range. But productive, man. It's one of those things you can't dismiss him. He doesn't look like a corner, but he plays. Sure as hell plays like a corner. Very consistent for Iowa. Always around the football. And I feel like in this spot here, get a guy that can contribute to special teams and offers a little bit of I think, again, it almost feels like I'm typecasting him, but like a little Reed Blankenship. A little guy that might have got underrated for whatever reason, but had the production in college that when you had to call upon his number, he was able to produce and surprise some people. I feel like that could kind of be the player that Riley Moss would be. And then we go 7th round, pick 249 to finish it all up. Looking at what we have left. Honestly, if this is the board, if these are the guys that I have to pick from, I'm going punter. I'm going Tory Taylor, best punter. Pat McAfee absolutely loves him. I feel like if I didn't go him, I would go Johnny Wilson, who you could just see there, 215 behind this. He's like a 6'7" wide receiver. I'd just go freak. Give me something that would be incredibly difficult. Maybe convert it to a tight end. But I feel like Siposs at punter, we can do better at punter. We can upgrade over punter. And if Tory Taylor's still there, I think he'll probably go. He'd be one of those punters that goes like Michael, Dickinson range, 5th round, 6th round, somewhere in that. Let's just grab the best punter available. Doubling up on the Iowas, we get a underrated corner. Don't underrate him. Don't sleep on him. We get the best punter in the draft. We get a nice project tackle to get into Jeff Stoutland University. We get a pass rushing defensive lineman that can complement Jordan Davis on the interior and give us that Javon Hargrave interior pass rush presence. We get Brian Branch, who's a versatile defensive back with corner coverage skill set, but is going to be a safety to the next level, which is something that Philadelphia has always kind of had stylistically in our secondary. And we get a project. It's not fair to say project. You say project pass rush, you're like C4 doesn't know how to pass. He knows how to pass rush. You get a guy, high ceiling, high upside edge rusher that's not going to have to contribute right away. That's my mock draft, fellas. I would love different scenarios. Like, I think there's a way, there's something that exists. I've done mock drafts with the Eagles before, where at 5, we get a Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson. And what that says to me is, like, let's just envision Philadelphia trading up a spot or two to get one of those guys. And then at 31, you get Bijan Robinson. Like, that would be the dream mock draft. But I think this is still pretty damn good. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. How would you do this? And honestly, if you want, go on NFL Mock Draft Simulator. That's what I use. I think it's the best site. You can run out your own mock drafts. Copy and paste it in the comment section below, and I can kind of review them, rank them if you want. That could be kind of fun. But, yeah, let's go, Birds! Hopefully the Saints keep sucking and we improve this number 5 and maybe get that a 4 or 3 in front of that number for our first round selection. But life is looking very good for the Philadelphia Eagles. I cannot wait for, hopefully, as defending Super Bowl champions, to dominate a draft like we just did here today. That'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Your first time stopping by. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Go check out the main channel if you want to see a mock draft, first round mock draft for all 31 teams that currently hold a first round pick. And I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out. Love you. Have a good one.